What's up everybody, this is Battlefield97 here giving you the last video of 2015, and what better way to celebrate 2015 is by talking about the games that I put the most hours into from September to December, and to finish up this whole compilation of months that I've been doing as of late with gaming pickup videos, which I hope to God by next year I won't do that and just talk about each game through the month in order to at least talk about every single thing that I've played in order to, convince myself to do all this. So yeah, even though I have like, let's say 20 plus games from across multiple platforms, even ones that I don't own like the Xbox One and the Vita, I'm only going to be talking about the games that I put the most hours with, say on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PS4, the Wii U, 3DS, yada yada yada. So if you want the full list of games that I got from September to December, I recommend going to the description below of this video to find out. This video is mostly going to be games that I put the most hours into from September to December, retail, physical, digital aside. So without further ado, let's talk about the one Xbox 360 game I put the most hours into that I got from September to December, and that of course is Dirt 3, the rallying game in the Dirt series from Codemasters. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not really much of a huge fan of racing games unless it's Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, but Dirt 3 is really fun. It has tight controls, it has nice graphics, and it definitely gets you in the feel of being in a rally race. So yeah, I do recommend getting Dirt 3 physical or in digital. And for me, I'm going to put at least more hours into it, along with the 360 games that I got from Games with Gold that I didn't put the most hours into from September to December, because mainly I was playing Dirt 3 and all the other old Games with Gold games on the 360. So yeah, that's it for Dirt 3 and for the Xbox side in general. Now let's talk about the PlayStation 3, first with the retail side. Now, I only got 3 games retail-wise on the PlayStation 3 from September to December, so let's start it off with the game that I got in New York Comic Con, and that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, exclusive to the PlayStation 3. Now, if you're someone who is a JoJo fan like me, who at least read from Part 3 back when Fin's Media was doing it in the early 2000s, or someone who got into the anime from Part 1, 2, and 3, I definitely recommend getting All-Star Battle on PlayStation 3. Now, if you're a fighting game fan and want a lot more depth into it, well, you're not going to find it in JoJo. It's a pretty simple fighting game in the same vein as the Naruto Storm games from the same publisher, Bandai Namco. But CyberConnect 2, the same developers, of course, of the Naruto Storm games, they definitely do bring a lot of fan service to each respective series that they have worked on, Naruto and JoJo included. So, if you're a fan of, say, Part 5 or whatever, you're going to find a lot of characters from Part 5 as fighters in the roster, along with stages from Italy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I recommend it for JoJo fans who want a fighting game to play their favorite characters from the franchise. And also, kind of a bizarre game to own in the collection. It's a game that can work on, say, PlayStation 3, the Japanese, American, whatnot, because, it's all region free. It's not just region 1. And yeah, for $20, the cheapest that Bandai Namco was selling in their booth in New York Comic Con, I definitely took this deal along with buying Volume 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 from Fin's Media. So yeah, I recommend getting JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for JoJo fans and people who want to play something different and wacky or bizarre. And now for the second game that I got from September to December that my brother gave for me as a gift for doing things for him, and that is the high-speed robot action of Zone of the Enders, the HD collection on PlayStation 3 and also on the Xbox 360. Now, I was kind of curious with the Zone of the Enders franchise after the numerous connections that Kojima and Kojima Productions did for the series with the Metal Gear games. And I was kind of curious to play through it because in Metal Gear Solid 5, for instance, you can actually unlock the Jehuti hand for Big Boss. So I definitely was interested of the franchise itself. And since I did a favor for my brother, he got the game for me brand new. So, thoughts with the original Zone of the Enders, the one game where people bought just for Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 2's demo. And I gotta say, Metal Gear Solid, Zone of the Enders 1 is definitely a flawed game. It hasn't aged well in some instances, like the story and the voice acting aside, is one of the most terrible voice actings I ever heard on a PlayStation 2 game, at least HDified for PlayStation 3. And the storyline is kind of forgettable, and I can't really remember the name of the setting of the game. but I do remember the whole armor of Jehuti and being able to maneuver him across the environment. The control-wise is quite simple. It's a pick-up-and-play kind of action game. Being able to dodge, attack, dodge, attack, dodge, attack. It kind of has this rhythm to it that I really like, and it has a soothing, at least to me, this soothing kind of rhythm play to it. The second one, on the other hand, is definitely refined compared to the original. Voice acting is better, storyline is better, and the gameplay has much more depth compared to the original one. You can't just, dodge, roll, Smash 4. You can't just dodge, attack, dodge, attack. You have to dodge, attack, go through the environment. You have to destroy as multiple enemies at the same time. So yeah, Stone of the Enders 2 is definitely worth it alone just for this collection. Especially the numerous fixes some third-party developer did for the PlayStation 3 version of this collection. Stone of the Enders 1, on the other hand, still has the problems that were included in this HD collection, because, Konami couldn't just get the same people that did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. So that sucks. But I do recommend this for PlayStation 3 owners to at least get this collection, especially if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. Xbox 360 owners, well, you're going to have to face the faults of the shitty port that, what was it? I forgot who the developer. High Voltage. You're gonna have to deal with the problems High Voltage did for the HD collection on the 360, and just like with the Silent Hill HD collection, there won't be any fixes for the 360 version. So tough shit. So yeah, Zone of the Ender HD collection, definitely good, definitely worth your time if you're a Metal Gear fan, and if you like mechas in general. And now for the last PlayStation 3 game I got yesterday during Times Square's Toys R Us store, and this was $20 brand new, and that is Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. Not only including the final mix version of the original Kingdom Hearts that was only in Japan until this release, Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories that was on the PlayStation 2, and HD cutscenes for the Nintendo DS game Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. And I gotta say, even though I've at least put like maybe 2 to 3 hours in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, it definitely is fun to relive a childhood game of mine. And I definitely would recommend this for Kingdom Hearts fans who have not picked up this collection yet, like me. So I'm definitely going to get 2.5 HD and definitely 2.8 on the PlayStation 4. So yeah, it's good. So yeah, that's it for the physical side on PS3. Now to talk about the digital. I had a lot of games on PlayStation Plus that I haven't really put much time in or played at all. So instead I'm going to be talking about 2 PlayStation 3 games that I played that were given to me on PlayStation Plus, and that is Mass Effect 2 and Beyond Good and Evil HD. Now, Mass Effect 2, in my opinion, is one of the best games from the 7th generation of consoles, and definitely the best in the Mass Effect series. It's the Empire Strikes Back of that franchise, and definitely is much better than what Mass Effect 3 was doing, at least in my honest opinion. It's not a technical bug as, say, the first Mass Effect game. Gameplay-wise, it's smooth. The shooting has like a lot more to it than, say, the first game. Even though there are some RPG elements that were cut off for the shooting aspects of Mass Effect 2, but overall the characters, the setting of the galaxy definitely makes it up for the loss of some of the RPG elements that at least are still there compared to, say, Mass Effect 3. So yeah, if you have not done so yet, Mass Effect 2 is on PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, PC, and I definitely recommend it. It's one of the best games. Heck, even as someone who played Mass Effect 2 first, then Mass Effect 1 on the 360, Mass Effect 2 is definitely worth picking up. I'm just saying. And now Beyond Good and Evil HD. Now, I played this game, and I think I may have talked about this before in previous gaming pickup videos for the Xbox 360, but Beyond Good and Evil is still worth talking about. It's one of the most underrated Ubisoft games that they ever produced and developed in the 6th generation of consoles. And for what it is, it's kind of like this action-adventure game where you play as Jade, this photographer, and basically you do these acrobatic kind of parkour elements along with using the camera as a gameplay feature, and with memorable characters, a memorable setting. It really does sound to me that the sequel is likely not going to happen anytime soon, especially as in development hell for God knows 10 plus years, like, say, Final Fantasy Versus 13, now on Final Fantasy 15. But at least Final Fantasy 15, I'm jumping on the gun here, at least Final Fantasy 15 is at least have a chance of being released, but with Beyond Good and Evil HD and the idiocy of Ubisoft, I doubt the case would be for the sequel. So for the time being, if you have not played Beyond Good and Evil, I do recommend getting it on the PlayStation 3, the 360, and I believe is on PC. Yeah, it's definitely on PC. I do recommend getting this classic for your systems. It's definitely underrated game from Ubisoft. So yeah, that's it for the PlayStation 3 side. Now to talk about the PlayStation 4. Now, just like with PlayStation 3, I didn't put much time into the PlayStation Plus games that were given to me on PS4 because they're either indie games that I don't really care about or just fucking awful. That's just my opinion. So I'm mainly going to be talking about these two games in particular, and that of course is one of the top 3 games of 2015. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Now, definitely this one has a mixed reception within the Metal Gear fan base itself. Definitely, it's not focused too much on story like previous Metal Gear games. Heck, even myself, who finished the game and got the true ending, I said Metal Gear Solid 4 was definitely a better ending to the franchise than, say, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. But definitely, I still think that the controls and gameplay is really goddamn good. Definitely much better than what Ubisoft has shouted out with modern-day Tom Clancy games to even Assassin's Creed. And yeah, you can go into the action of being a stealth, going stealth or action for this game itself. And I like the mother-based micromanagement like in Peace Walker, though I was disappointed that I couldn't really interact that much with Mother Base itself in real time than in just menus in Peace Walker. But overall, I'll definitely talk about this more when I do my top 10 games of 2015. All I gotta say is that even though it may not be what Metal Gear Solid fans expected for Kojima's last game of the franchise and Konami itself, I definitely think it's worth owning and at least, having a discussion with. And now for a game that I actually bought this year early on for the 3DS and the Wii U for $10 each, and that is Shovel Knight on the PlayStation 4, physical-wise. And yeah, you get the same game that you might have already played on PS4, Xbox One, the Wii U, the 3DS, and PC, but at least with this edition, they added in the update for... What was the update again? The update that they added in, it's in this retail version of the game, and basically added in is you being able to download the soundtrack of the game, which I'm not going to show because I still haven't redeemed it yet. But overall, I gotta say the Shovel Knight is definitely one of my favorite indie games of all time. It definitely shits on any side-scroller that isn't Rayman or any Nintendo Mario games itself. And yeah, this is what a Kickstarter game should be instead of the shit that Tim Schafer's shouting out of his own ass. That's something. So yeah, that's it for the PlayStation side. Now to talk about the Wii U, which I definitely have a lot to talk about. And that, of course, is Super Mario Maker. Now, I've already had a review of Super Mario Maker on this channel, so I'm going to make it short for this one. It's definitely a simple and fun level editor, and if you're a Mario fan and you still haven't picked this up, go get it. It's damn worthwhile. And now for the games that I got for Christmas, and that, of course, is Splatoon. It's definitely this fun multiplayer-focused shooter that really isn't so much about killing people and getting scores, but it's more about splattering the environment. It definitely has this nice, vibrant art style to it, and definitely has a style to it, unlike, say, many other modern-day shooters, but I don't know, the lack of voice chat, not many options of being forced to be stuck in stages, I don't really like that much about the game itself, but definitely is sinking teeth in along with Smash Brothers and another game I'm going to be talking about right now. So if you have not picked this up yet, I do recommend this. And now for the game that definitely will put 300 to 500 hours in this system, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles X, a game along with one of the amiibos that I'll be talking about at the end of the video. I put the most time into, at least right now, for the Wii U. It's like this MMO kind of feel in Final Fantasy XII or the previous Xenoblade game if you played it. And it has this nice vibrant world to it. Only complaint I have is the combat. You really don't do much out of it. You just lock on and you move the cursor into each attack, but you don't really press any buttons to repeatedly do slashes like in Kingdom Hearts, for instance. But it's an MMO game. It's automated in order to have this feel for it. And I don't know, the modeling aside kind of looks like early 7th generation game. It looks like an early 7th generation game, but the environments definitely look next gen. It's definitely much big as all hell. So if you've not picked this up yet, do so now. It's definitely definitely one of those games that you should own for the Wii U this year. So yeah, that's it for the Wii side. Now for the DS side, and the only 3DS Nintendo game I actually got this year was a Christmas gift, and that is Pokemon Omega Ruby, the remake to Ruby on the 3rd generation of Pokemon. And what more can I say about it? 3rd generation is personally my favorite. Not the best of the Pokemon games. I definitely think the 2nd generation is much better, but I do enjoy the 3rd generation a lot more from it. And yeah, all the additions that Pokemon X and Y did, like being able to search for players, being able to take care of your Pokemon, I like the most. One thing I can definitely don't like so far from replaying it is not having customization. You're stuck with either the boy or May with how they look from the beginning to end, so that's something. But overall, if you've not picked this up yet, like I did, Pokemon Omega Ruby is definitely worth playing once. So I'm continuing playing that. And also, this is one of the last game that I picked up along with, say, Amazing Spider-Man on Blu-ray in Toys R Us. And that, of course, is a used $8 copy of Elite Beat Agents on the DS. One of the DS's best games and definitely one of my favorite rhythm games of all time. It has this style to it of you being agents for this agency of, helping people with their problems in life by, corresponding, doing rhythms and stuff like that. And for $8 for a perfect condition case and a game that really has no scratches, none of that kind of horseshit that you would find in GameStop, it's definitely one of those things that I'll cherish from the last day of the Toys R Us Times Square store. So yeah, definitely one of the best Nintendo DS games and definitely one of the best rhythm games that I've ever played. So yeah, that's it on the gaming side. Now to talk about the things that I got. October is this. November is Mewtwo, and this month was Yarn Yoshi. So yeah, I hope every one of you have a very nice new year. I hope to see you again in 2016 for my top 10 games of 2015. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, favorite, subscribe. This is Battlefield JoJo 97. See you in 2016, and catch you guys later.